Thank you for checking out this video. This is a template tutorial on LifeQuest. This is my free Notion template for basic use, I guess you could say. So we will start from the left and work our way over to this right side. So starting with Start My Day, this is usually the button I will press on first thing every single morning. And what it is it's your daily bounty or your daily tracking, which is right here. This shows up whenever you just click on new, and then you'd add, the day's date, and you would go through. When you add the date, it'll automatically fill in date and day column. You will then fill out your mood, which we have quite a few options here. And then you will mark whether or not you're up on time and whether or not you completed your morning routine. This morning routine is referring to this routine right here, which for right now I have exercise and my daily bounty journal in it. The way these routines work is you'll see each of these check boxes are labeled with a day: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so on and so forth. And what you do is you will check them off as you go throughout your week. You will see on this right side there is a progress bar filling up. Once it maxes out, you can see everything is filled in. This will max out. You will then come over to completed weeks. You'll click in here and you'll just add one. So now we're up to 2. And then I can reset my morning routine when I am done with the week. Hit continue. It's going to clear all those check boxes, but it will not clear your completed weeks. So that's good. You can keep track of how many weeks out of the year you've completed, and then you just keep track of the days throughout the week. If you want to add or change your routines, you just click on new right here. It'll create a new morning routine. You can name it whatever you want, and the only thing that you'll have to do from here is click into this completed weeks, enter 0, and that will bring up the completed weeks progress bar. So keep that in mind whenever you add a new routine. You just have to go in here and type in 0 for the completed weeks. Furthermore, with the daily bounty, any of this is something you can change. I personally like to keep track of my sleep efficiency through an app called Sleep Cycle. If that's something that you're curious in doing that just uses your phone to keep track of your sleep efficiency, I find it to be very useful. So I use sleep efficiency here. This is just a percentage, so I'll just say 85% for example. And then my pounds, that's just how much I weigh, and my body fat percentage, since I have a smart scale, it'll tell me that number. And then lastly, the weekly recap. You'll just tie this to the week that this day is associated with. We will get into that here a little bit later. Moving on, we have End My Day, which is exactly what we just saw, just at night to end your day. This will pop up with a couple different properties from earlier, so it'll give you your diet 1 to 5, 1 being the best, 5 being the worst. You can just kind of guesstimate on where you think your diet was for that day, and this will all get rolled up so that you can view it later, and then you can kind of see where your diet's been on like a monthly basis, for example. And then, the same check marks is for night routine and bed on time. Your night routine is right down here. It has the same setup as the morning routine with the completed weeks, the check boxes, the weekly progress, and the reset night routine button. Moving on, we have the inbox. The inbox is just your quick capture note hub. What I like to do is I have a inbox Notion widget on my phone that just basically goes straight into here. So if I have a idea and I'm out and about, I can just click on the widget on my phone, type in the note, and it'll show up in my inbox right here. But the best way to think about your inbox is just your quick capture. If you have an idea, jot it down in here, and then you can deal with it later type deal. Then we're moving on to the task board. This board will lay out all of your tasks, any tasks that have dates on them at least. If it does not have a date, it'll go into this no date category. You can see right here. If you do have one with no date, you can just click, drag it on there, and now we have a task with a date. So that's kind of how that would look. You can imagine that when you have a bunch of tasks throughout a month and they're all appearing here, it'll kind of show you everything that you need to do and when it needs to be done. So definitely useful to have. Moving on, we have the Notion audit, which is basically just allowing you to change the status, the due date, and kind of the progress and tracking on your projects and tasks. It's a nice place to just kind of come in here every now and then, make sure that whatever tasks are done are actually like marked done, for example, or whatever tasks you have associated with projects. Make sure that they're properly associated, make sure your priority is properly set, and that the status is also accurate. And you can kind of see all that in here. Moving on, you have your quick access right here. You can just do /page, and you can link to a page if you would like, if you want to get even quicker access to any of these pages or any pages that you add from your own Notion. This template tutorial button is possibly how you made it to this video. This is where this template tutorial video is stored, and it just links back to this YouTube channel. We then move on to databases and our pillars. The pillars here are workouts, meal planner, routines, and habits. We've kind of gone over routines already, and we've also kind of gone over habits. But let's go ahead and jump into the workouts. As you can see, I have templates for cardio, lifting, and recovery. So what you would do is you'd come in here, hit add an item. If you want to do cardio, you can add cardio. Then if you wanted to add your exercises, you just click on exercises, and then you can add whatever you want. So now we have our exercise, the date. We can include a time here if we wanted to. I don't personally, but if that's something that you want to do, you can also include time for when you want to go to the gym, and then you can have your exercises just sitting there. All of your exercises are located down here. They're separated by lifting, cardio, recovery, and all. And then these exercises are simply just pages. So you just add a new page and then you give it a tag, and that's all these are. Moving on to the meal planner. I cannot take credit for this meal planner template. I got it from Wesley Anna, and she didn't know where she got it from, but I really do enjoy this meal planner. It's very simple. Basically what's going on here is you have a cookbook that you add all of your recipes into, and then you have your weekly view for your meals. So what you would do is you'd go to your cookbook, assign meals, days of the week, and after you assign meals, days of the week, the ingredients of those meals will end up in this shopping list view right here, or you can also enter it through here. But then you see your shopping list for that week. You just go through the list. If you already have something, just mark it off and it'll disappear. And yeah, that's about it. And it'll also tell you what meal it's associated with. So this meal planner is really nice. But moving on, we have routines. This is your actual routine page. So this is kind of your routine management. You can obviously see the morning routine in the start my day button, and then the night routine in the end my day page. But here you have your morning routine and your night routine. It gives you some times if you want to put that in there. And what this does is it just associates morning to the correct routines and night to the correct routine. Beyond that, we have the Master Project tab, which is going to give you all of your projects and whatever status they are, whether your active ones or your archived or completed projects. And then it'll give you a progress based on how many tasks you have associated. So with this example quest or project, I only have this one task. If I mark this off, that progress bar is going to go to 100% and it's going to archive it. If it's not done, then it's just right here. If I added another, task or bounty as I put them in here, then marking this off will only take the bar to 50% and then 100% if I do both. So that's how this master project tab works. It basically just lets you see all your projects and all your tasks based on what project they are associated to. Moving on from there, we have our all tasks page, which is basically what we just looked at, but more detailed views for tasks specifically. So we have our all, you can view your next up, the ones that are their tests are in the waiting status, all your tasks except done. So if I check mark done, it disappears, and then done, obviously will just show all your completed tasks. These are your home task, errands, needs updating. So all of this will be all associated to your tasks and their various views. Moving on, it's the same thing with projects, where we have this, master project tab where it shows tasks and projects. This projects one just shows projects, but in a more detailed way with more detailed views for you to really get into the nitty gritty and update these as you see fit. We then move on to goals. Goals are separated by all goals, 12-week sprints or short goals, 3 to 6 months, 6 to 12, 1 to 2 years, and 5 years. So all these goals are in here. If you start a new goal, it'll just give you a goal template. You can change the status to active, on hold, completed, future, not started, or abandoned. You can give it a target completion date if you'd like. And then this term just refers to this target completion date and how long that time period is. As far as this to complete, this just links to the projects that you need to complete to make progress towards your goal. Okay, and then outside of goals, we go down to this player progression. Obviously, this is called Life Quest, so I made it very gamify-y by calling tasks bounties, projects quests, so on and so forth. You can obviously change the name of all of these whenever you would like. But player progression, this shows you your daily tracker. You can see I have a bunch of blanks in here. If I wanted to fix that, I would just go in, highlight all of them, and then hit delete. But you can see our 1 day is in here, and that's it. And then you can see a 30-day averages option. What this is going to do is it's just going to take the last 30 days and it's going to give you averages for your diet, your sleep, your weights, body fat percentage, or whatever else you want to track in here. Maybe you want to track how much water you drink in a day. You can also have that average out in here as well. So this is very customizable. Set it up however you see fit. These are just the 4 things I personally like to track, and that's just what's in my template. Beyond that, this daily tracker all rolls up into the weekly recap. So if we click on this, this is the weekly review. It'll pull from all 7 days from the daily bounties. So I'll add that. So what would happen is if I had all 7 days or the whole week worth of daily bounties, all of those would show up right here and it would give me the averages here. And then I would tie this up to a monthly recap. So if this is a week within May, then the month will be May. So it's pretty self-explanatory in that aspect. And then what you do is when you click in here, reflect, you'll plan, update, and declutter. And you just follow these check boxes and you can change this however you see fit to make sure it works best for you. To make changes to that, you'll just click right here, this weekly template, click on these 3 dots and hit edit, and then you can change this to whatever you want. Moving on to monthly recap, this is the same as weekly recap, but obviously for a month. So it'll give you your monthly review template whenever you click new. This would obviously just be the name of the month, such as May. Then you will then tie it to a quarter, so quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3 of the year, so on and so forth. You can associate the quests or projects. Again, quests and projects is used interchangeably on this template. You can change that however you want. But, just remember if you see quest, it also means projects. Just because the whole vision with Life Quest was to gamify your life. But anyway, so monthly recap, you can add your quests or projects here. And then you can also add your weeks. So there would be 4 weeks in a month. So typically you'd see 4 weeks in here. And just like our weekly template, our monthly template also has a bunch to go through and check off if that is something that you want to do. Again, you can change this however you want. You can update it however you want. All right, and then moving on from monthly recap, obviously quarterly recap, which is the exact same thing of what we just went through with weeks and months. But this time you can just tie it to the year, the months, so there'll be 3 months in each quarter, and then you can tie the quests or projects that were completed within that quarter in here as well. If you click, it'll obviously give you a quarterly review template, and you can just go through. You can update this however you want. If you want to review certain things in your life each quarter, then this is a good place to start. You can open this template up and then edit it however you see fit. Moving on from there, we finally have our annual recap, which is going to basically tie all the quarters to a year. And this is where you would add your yearly goals, for example. But that'd be your year. Go in here, you add in all the quarters. You can create just a new year template off this. It'll basically add in the icon and this image just for fun. And yeah, you can add whatever you want down in here. You can create a new template if you want to write out your yearly goals, you can. And then moving on to settings, this is just the template tutorial, which is what this button is right here. When you delete this button, this is where this video can be found if you ever need a refresher. And then finally, we're getting into the calendars. We have our master scheduler, which this really just works if you are planning on using Notion Calendar to keep track of all your events in Notion through Notion Calendar. You can see all bounties, so these are all of your tasks. You can see your routine calendar, so if I wanted to add work, for example, then this is where I would do it. And I would just duplicate, drag, because I work 5 days a week. And there you go. So like that's like my work schedule. So my routine calendar is, the personal calendar. I would add just like my work schedule here, or whatever else I wanted to. Say there's any birthdays coming up or going out to dinner with friends or whatever, I can add all that here. And then my workout calendar, this just shows what days I plan on working out and what kind of workout I plan on doing. So all that's pretty basic. And here, this is schedules connected to Notion Calendar. Again, this is if you want to do this. Of course, this is all customizable for you as well. And this personal calendar is what we just saw with the work schedule. And then this workout calendar is what we saw earlier with our workouts. And that's it. That is the entire LifeQuest template. The idea behind it was to gamify life and, give you something to track and, track your progression throughout the entire year. So that's kind of what this whole section is here for. The start my day, end my day all ties into your daily tracker to build up your weekly recap, to then build up your monthly recap, your quarterly recap. So all this kind of just ties to this player progression so that you can track kind of how you've been doing. The task board obviously kind of ties into your tasks or bounties. Again, I use tasks and bounties interchangeably and projects and quests interchangeably. So if you ever see quest, just know that means projects. If you ever see bounty, that means task, or vice versa. This is stuff that you can change however you want. I kind of left a mix of both in there, just so that people can kind of get an idea of what they prefer and what they like. So this video is dragging on quite a bit, so I am going to end it here. If you have any questions on this template, please do leave a comment down below. And I hope you enjoy the template.